of people coming to me and saying, and this is very common, I want to quit my job. I want to downscale. I want to work part-time, but my husband won't support it because I made a promise that I would be the primary breadwinner. And now I want to switch and he won't switch, or he doesn't support me giving up my high-paying job. But I feel this transformation of being with my baby and I don't want to leave my baby. The problem with young people is they promise each other, they make promises to each other that they probably should not make. Do not promise your spouse that nothing will change when you have a baby. Say to your spouse, let's prepare for everything to change. Let's believe that anything is possible, and let's prepare. Let's strategize. Let's say, what if I want to stay home with the baby? What if I may not feel like that now, but what if I see this baby and I fall in love with this baby and I want to stay home and I'm the mother and I want to breastfeed and I don't want to go back to work for a while? And so then you say, what would that scenario look like? What could we do? What can we downscale in terms of our material life and our lifestyle that makes it possible for me to stay home? And I don't think we do that. Instead, women say nothing's going to change, and men say nothing's going to change, and then they have babies, and they're not prepared for the changes that occur. Changes occur in men too. It's not just women. I mean, fathers also can have this transformation, right? Where they also want to work less, or, sometimes the transformation comes in the form of wanting to work less and being home. Sometimes it comes in the form of wanting to go out and take on the world so they can provide for their family,
Yeah.
But it does stimulate something. It stimulates some evolutionary response in men and women. The hardest thing I find is when men and women compete. It was much easier in the olden days. Now, not everything was good in the olden days, but you would say the idea that roles were defined meant that men and women didn't compete over their roles. Now, what I think is causing a lot of these divorces and what's causing a lot of marital conflict is that men and women compete over everything. They compete over who's going to make more money. They compete over who's going to care for the baby. And so it's like you're a CEO of a company, you have your own company. So you can't have co-CEOs. I mean, I don't know if you did, but it doesn't work. I mean, anybody that I've ever treated that says we're going to do co-CEOs, it always falls apart. You can have a CEO, you can have a president, you can have the head of marketing, you can have a CFO, you can have a COO. These are different roles. And they don't compete with one another. They work as a team. Parenting is a team sport, not a competitive sport. And so what's happening today, because of all this gender neutrality and I'm as good as you and you're as good as me and we're the same, it means that couples are competing with one another. And that's causing so much tension, because what's best is when couples complement each other. When their differences mean that as a team, they work well to care for a child. And I would say the secret to success in a marriage is save your competition for the tennis court, for the basketball court, for running in the park. Don't compete over child rearing, who's going to take care of the children. Don't compete over who makes more money. Find a way to complement each other and be a team.
There's so many mothers listening now that are very career driven.
Mm-hmm.
And you may be causing some existential crises. You may be reaffirming a lot of what they believe and think and what they feel intuitively. Are you saying then that for those women that are pursuing, high octane careers in leadership roles, that also want to have children, that it's one or the other?
No, I'm saying that there are certain careers, realistically, here's the inconvenient truth again, bunch of inconvenient truths. There are certain careers that are harder to be a good mother. Period. I'm saying that. I know it's a harsh talk, but there it is. There are certain careers that are too demanding to be present for your children, whether you're a mother or a father. You think if you're a father who's a CEO who's traveling around the world and misses your children's birthday and misses your children's soccer games and misses your children's piano concerts and isn't there to pick them up at school or have breakfast with them or have dinner at the end of the day, you think that child is going to have a healthy relationship with that parent? Another myth. Here we are. I told you I was going to weave the myths in. Quality versus quantity time. You cannot be there for your children on your own time. You have to be there on their time. Meaning, quality time is a narcissistic fantasy. I can be there on my time. So my child sits at home and is like a vase on the counter, waiting for me to come home. And then I come home and there I can be present for my child. Your child has needed you all day long. And when you come home, that's on your time. You need to be there a quality of time as well as a quantity of time. I always say to people that you can be physically present but be emotionally checked out, but you can't be emotionally present if you're not physically there enough of the time. And that's just a reality. So what are the careers that are really good for whoever's going to be the primary attachment figure? Service fields where you have your own business and you can make your own schedule around your children, where your children don't work around you, you work around your children. Physical therapy, psychotherapy, speech therapy, consulting maybe. Anything that's entrepreneurial, anything